At the end of the video, I, and I'm sure as much as you, will be so happy seeing this knife being restored. You know what? This is so sad. This knife has been in the kitchen in our office for about a week. This needs help. Hello, knife nerds. Today, I have quite the challenge ahead of me. I will be fully restoring this completely destroyed kitchen knife. My coworker Mike, whom I love and respect, has totally destroyed this knife. In his recent video, he puts it through just about every job you should never, ever do with the Japanese knives. You might look at this knife and think it was beyond repair, but as a chief knife sharpener at Knifewear, I take great pride in my restoration skills. Let's get to work. So first thing is straighten up the blade. I use this tool, we call it the bendy stick. It's got a different size of slots to make sure its knife is straight. Next, just to remove the rust off. I use this rusty razor. It's got an abrasive and some rubber parts, so that removes the rust very nice and evenly. And yeah, don't forget the spine. And once you clean off all the excess, you should be good to go. I usually wrap my knife handles with a plastic wrap and little masking tape, just to protect the handle from getting very, very messy. So this is the first step. I use this wheel. It's just got a water splashing from the bottom and saves a lot of back and forth arm motion. So first thing is to remove the chips from the edge and also a little bit of the tip. I try to grind them from both ends pretty evenly so that when it comes to the sharpening, I don't make very right or left-handed bias. Okay, now it comes to so-called thinning. After you remove that much of chips away, the edge becomes very, very thick. So I put that bevel pretty flat on the stone to start thinning that bevel. We call this process also hot rodding at Knifewear. As you can see, pretty flat on the bevel, and I do the both sides. This is very important process. Most of the job is done with this green wheel. Next, I moving to this wheel that is slightly finer than the previous one. After finishing with the green wheel, you see very deep scratches on the bevel. So this is to remove those deep scratches. I use this diamond plate to make sure the surface of this pink wheel is nice and flat as well. Part of the way of doing this process is also to make sure the bevel is nice and even. That's why I change the angle very slightly. Now moving on to the sharpening stones. Every stone needs to be flattened. So I use those diamond plates to make sure the surface is all flat. This stone is called Naniwa Hibiki 1000. It's really nice hard stone. What this does is to make sure the bevel that I've created with these stones, the bevel that I created with those wheels are nice and even and flat to make sure there is no high or low spots. Next stone is Knifeware 1000 grit stone. Again, I'll make sure the surface is nice and flat. This Knifeware 1000 stone is fantastic stone. It is soft enough and it will create very even so-called foggy finish on the soft steel on the outside. This will create very nice foundation for so-called Kasumi finish, where the core steel is nice and shiny and softer steel is nice and foggy. This is the first polishing stone, Kensho K3000. Nice and soft and gray stone to make the very nice contrast between the polished core steel and foggy outer steel. I try to work on very evenly, so I switch hand when I'm sharpening the other side. Then I move on to this stone, Kensho K6000. I do not usually take it to this level of polish, but hey, this is restoration. I wanted to bring back the old glory that this knife used to have. So why not take it into very high polished 6000 grit stone to get almost like a mirror polish at the edge. It's nice stone to keep the foggy finish on the soft steel. Now I move back to the Naniwa Hibiki 1000 to put the actual edge on. By means, not putting the flat on the bevel, but give about 15 degrees on the edge. We call it koba or micro bevel. This is the Naniwa Hibiki 6000. Again, very similar series to the one that I was using previously. Nice and hard, builds up a slurry very good, and also gives you very nice balanced edge of smooth and bitey. I use this leather strap to remove the excess burr on the edge. Then a smoother side to strap it off. Now let's test it. Finally, I restore this knife. Well, that was a lie. It needed actually a new handle. So I'm putting the handle in this hot water for a little while until the glue inside softens. Enjoy my dance. Please enjoy the chill hop while we wait. So I left them about 5 minutes. See if that works. Here. Alrighty. Taking excess glues off with the X-Acto knife. Now, it's fire time. Make sure you wear safety goggles. Safety first. I said use the fancy handle, but the hole was a little bit smaller than I thought I want, so I'm burning the hole bigger with this special tool made by a blacksmith. Now, I fill the handle with a little bit of glue and heat up the tang of the knife a little bit, enough so that the tang is hot enough to melt the glue inside. When the hole is too big for that knife, I usually have that some sort of clip to prevent the knife goes in deeper than it needs to. Slight adjustment on straightness, and if it needs to, I use that bendy stick. There's a little bit of gap in between the handle and knife, so we use a little bit of wood filler. This will prevent the water from going into the handle. Final check. Well, this is a kitchen knife, so you want to make sure it works good on the food that you're cutting. Look how smooth and glossy the surface is. It's only done by very sharp knife. Now you are ready to make French fries, hash browns, scalloped potatoes. If you want to attempt a restoration like this, you can learn all about that on our sharpening skills playlist. If you'd rather have me to do it, you can use the Melling Knife Sharpening service on our website, and it will come directly my workshop. And if you want to see Distraction Mike put this on through, check out this next video. So as always, thanks for watching.